their real experiences, what happened to them, how they escaped with their lives because their Muslim neighbors put burqas on them, got them to on the railway, got them across the border, and so all this started happening for real on the film. But also, when we were shooting those refugee scenes, it was terribly upsetting because we had 1,000 extras, and every day we were dressing them to look like period, 1947 refugees, but on our phones we were seeing the news, which was the main news at that time was of the little Syrian boy who was found washed up on the beach as his family were trying to escape Syria. So we were looking at refugees on our phone on the news, and we were shooting period refugees here, and it really made the film feel very urgent. I think that I was going to say something else. I forgot now. There's a lady here. There's a lady here.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Huma. So basically my question is, this is more like a Indo-British film, you have started doing that. So can we expect you to also join, the Hollywood League and, sign some movies out there?
Well, I've never chased Hollywood or a particular industry. I think wherever I chase creativity, I chase good scripts. I'm doing a Tamil film as we speak right now. So for me, language is not really the concern. I mean, I don't choose scripts based on what language or what territory is going to release in. I think, with Gurinder had made this film in Punjabi, I would still love to be a part of it. So yeah, if there's a good script, no matter which part of the world it is in, I would be up for it, most definitely.
Just one added thing. You are also a part of, doing the Rajnikant film. If you could just tell us what's your role and, how
I think let's keep it to Partition 1947. We'll do another press conference for that.
Gurinder, I have a question for you.
Just this lady here, then you.
At a time when India is dealing with incidents hate in the name of religion, and we have sensitive relations with our neighbor right now, do you think this film is very relevant? And also, at the same time, do you think it is a risk to release it right now? How will it be accepted?
Well, I think all filmmaking is a risk. Anyone who's trying to say something different, it's always a risk as a filmmaker, but you have to follow your heart and you have to say what you think. That's what artists do. I want to tell you that my editor in England, Valeria, he was Italian. And when we were cutting the film, every cut, when we screened it for the producers, he would always cry at the end, as an Italian. He was very emotional. And he would always cry, and whenever I wanted to keep something in that I knew would be more appealing to the Indian side of me, he was my biggest defender against people who would say, oh no, it's too emotional, it's too emotional. And I said, no, I want this sequence, I want to do this one. So Valeria was there with me throughout that. But then, when we were halfway through editing, Brexit happened. And suddenly, he became a refugee because he didn't know if he was going to stay in England, or he had English wife, 2 children. He didn't know if he had to stay or go to Italy. At the same time, we saw a rise in hate crime. Suddenly immigrants were being blamed for problems, because of the rise of the right. You had the rise of the right in Le Pen, in France, in Germany, It was a very tricky time when we were editing the film. So I think that this rise of the right, wherever you are, ultimately, one has to stand up for what is right. Now, this is a nation that is built on the philosophies of Gandhiji, and when I watched the film back, the first time I watched the finished film back, I sat in the cinema, in the screening room, and I turned to Paul, my husband, and I said, you know what, there's 2 people from the past who I think would really appreciate the film. And one is Gandhiji, it's his philosophy, the film. And the second one is Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who says, before you see yourself as a Hindu or a Sikh or a Muslim, see yourself as a human. So for me, that wherever I went, these 2, Gandhiji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji, are with me. They're on either side of me. And I think that is the reason why I was able to make the film, because I kept going back to them.